Hi there. This video is an exam paper walkthrough of the Edexcel GCSE Mathematics Foundation Tier Paper 3 from summer 2023. This paper is worth 80 marks in total, and this is the second video of 4. It will focus on questions 11 to 16, which account for 20 of these marks. Edexcel Paper 3s are calculator papers, so a calculator should be used. A little disclaimer: there may be more than one way to answer a question. The methods shown in this video are not the only way some mathematical skills can be applied. Okay, let's get started. Question 11. Gabriel thinks of a number. He multiplies his number by 5 and then adds 7. His answer is 72. What number did Gabriel think of? So let's call Gabriel's number X. First thing he did was multiply by 5, and then he added 7, which gave him an answer of 72. So I've formed an equation here that I'm going to solve. So I'm going to subtract 7 from both sides because 7 is the inverse. Subtract 7 is the inverse of adding 7. So 5x equals 72. Subtract 7. I'm using my calculator because it's a calculator paper. I might as well. And then this is 5 times x, so I'm going to divide by 5. So x is 13, so 13 is the number that Gabriel thought of. You can double check that, you can put it back in. So 13 multiplied by 5, and then add 7. Yep, that gives us 72. Question 12. Some students took a guitar exam. The pie chart shows information about the grades the students got. So it's a pass, fail, distinction or a merit. Write down the modal grade. So the mode is the most common. So modal is most common. So we're looking for the biggest section of the pie chart. The biggest section of the pie chart is merit. So that is the modal grade. 7 students got a distinction. Part B, work out the total number of students who took the guitar exam. So we're going to work with degrees here. So we've got degrees and then students. So 7 students got a distinction. So those 7 students are worth 105 degrees. Okay. So what we're going to do, we're going to go to 1 degree and then to 360 degrees because we want to know what the whole pie chart is worth, and a circle, the angles inside a circle add to 360. So to go from 105 degrees to 1 degrees, we're going to divide by 105. So 7 divided by 105. And then we're going to times by 360. So there are 24 students who took the guitar exam. Question 13. Rowena drove from her home to a beach. Here is a travel graph for her journey. So this is the distance and this is the time, and we've got the journey plotted here. Rowena stopped at a cafe on the way to the beach. Part A, I. How many minutes did Rowena take to drive to the cafe? So from here to here is that journey to the cafe, because this is the part where they've stopped. So from here to here is the time. So we've got 12 till 1 p.m. So this must be 12:30. So that tells me it took 30 minutes to drive to that cafe. Then it says, write down the distance from Rowena's home to the cafe. So this is home, this is the cafe, so we're reading along this way now. So the distance is 10 miles. Okay, part B and C then. So Rowena stayed at the beach for 1.5 hours. She then drove home without stopping and arrived home at 1600 hours. Part B, on the grid, complete the travel graph. So she stayed at the beach for an hour and a half. So let's pop this down here. So this is where we're at the beach. And if we read all the way down here, we're at the beach at 13:30. She stayed there for an hour and a half. So half an hour takes us to 2. And then another hour takes us to 3. So if we follow that up, we need a stationary horizontal line here for staying at the beach for an hour and a half. Then she drove home without stopping and arrived home at 1600. So 1600 is here. We're going straight from the beach to home, not stopping anywhere. So we're going to draw the line there like that. So that's part B. Part C, work out the average speed for the journey from the beach to Rowena's home. Okay, so part C, you've got speed, distance and time. So from the beach here to home is 35 miles. So the distance is 35 miles. And the time taken, well, we've left the beach at 3 o'clock. We get home at 4, so it's only taken 1 hour. And we want it in miles per hour, so it's taken 35 miles per hour. Question 14. 120 boxes cost £6. 270 bags cost £10. A bag is cheaper than a box. How much cheaper? Give your answer in pence correct to 1 decimal place. Okay, so if we've got bags and their price, so 270 bags is worth £10. That's what it tells us here, look. And then if we've got boxes and price, 120 boxes is £6. So we're going to work out the cost of 1 bag and 1 box, and then we're going to compare them. So we're going to divide by 270. So that's in pounds, remember, 0.04 rounded to 1 decimal place to 2 decimal places because it's money. So that's, we want our answers in pence. So that is actually 4 pence per bag. Let's do the same over here. So we want 1, so we're going to divide by 120. So 6 divided by 120 is 0.05 pounds, which is 5 pence. So a bag is cheaper than a box. Well, it is. A bag is 4 pence. A box is 5 pence. How much cheaper in pence correct to 1 decimal place? So it's 1 pence cheaper. There's no need for decimal places there on that one because the difference between 4 pence and 5 pence is 1 pence. Question 15. There are only red beads and green beads in a bag. The number of red beads to the number of green beads equals the ratio 1 to 4. There are 35 red beads in the bag. Work out the total number of beads in the bag. So we've got red to green is 1 to 4. Tells us that 35 are red. So to get from 1 to 35, we would have multiplied by 35. So we need to do the same on the other side. So 4 multiplied by 35 is 140. It wants the total number of beads. So we're going to do 35 red plus 140 green, which is 175 beads in total. Question 16. Describe fully the single transformation that maps shape A onto shape B. So we're starting with shape A, we're moving to shape B. So shape A has not been reflected over the x-axis. It has not changed size in any way, so I'm going to assume it's been rotated. So turned around. So I'm going to start by saying it's a rotation. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to trace over the shape here. And I'm going to put an arrow there. And then what I'm going to try and do now is figure out what point this shape has been rotated around to get to B. So I'm going to start here at the origin first. So if I put my pencil on and I move that, oh, that was handy. Okay, so if you notice, we've gone anti-clockwise and the arrow is now turned 90 degrees. Because if you look, started here, now it's at a right angle of 90 degrees. The triangle has matched exactly, so that tells me it's also been rotated around this point here, the origin where my pencil is. So that arrow shows me how far around it's gone, so it's taken a quarter turn, 90 degrees, anti-clockwise, and around that point 0, 0. So it's a rotation, anti-clockwise, around, you can put the origin or you can put 0, 0. For 2 marks.